That's good. Okay. Okay. And okay. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. And I can hear you good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, brother. How about you?
I'm doing so good. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I'm finally glad to get the chance to sit down with you, man.
Tell me about it. I appreciate the support, the love, as always, brother.
You're my man. You're my man. I couldn't. I honestly, couldn't have done a lot of this actually without you. You don't even know some of the stuff like in the background. Conceptually,
I,
you've helped me with. So, this
I,
little thing
I,
here.
I see it. I see it.
My wife is probably your biggest fan. I think she likes your art way more than she likes mine. Like way more. She thinks you're cute too, but we'll leave that to a different time. So I I don't even know where to start. I got like a list of questions, like 20. I got so many questions for you, but like maybe maybe the best way to start here is for the people that don't know you and the people that haven't got a chance to see your work yet. Maybe let's start off there.
All right.
Um, and also for me, because I mean I know kind of since we started sharing art and stuff like that, but maybe take me back a little bit and tell me how you got to where I came across you and kind of and your journey. Kind of I don't know. Take me to your origin story, bro.
Well, it might sound cliche because every artist would start like, oh, I grew up drawing and interested in just creating stuff since little, since a kid. But it's actually true, like since I have memory, I actually the first one that got me into drawing and wanting to, like recreate stuff were my brothers, especially one of them. He was always drawing, and I would always, try to recreate what he was drawing. And I don't know. It started from there. He stopped drawing. Actually, he had some cool art. I still believe he needs to get back to it because if I wanted to recreate that his stuff, it's because I always believe in his art. But yeah, he stopped drawing and I just stayed with it. I think I found my calling with the art and how to express what I was feeling or just whenever I find like free time or whatever I'll just sit down draw whatever clear my mind and from there I've had like breaks in between um yeah, like long breaks. The next thing I remember, it was in high school. I had an art class, and by that time, I didn't saw art like something I would, you know, do constantly and everything. But I remember one of my art teacher. Um, I was so careless and everything. And one day I got to the class and I didn't have any materials for it, and so she offered me, here's a paper, whatever, just you start drawing what I told you guys to draw. And after a while, we had to draw a tree that we were like outside. She took us outside, and she was like, "Well, I just want to measure how you know, you guys are with art and everything. I just want you to see. I just want to see what you can do." And she was passing by, and she saw my drawing. She was like, "What? I didn't even know you could draw or whatever." I was like, "Yeah." And from there, she was the one who actually, like showed that interest in making me push forward with my art. I remember she made me go to a competition and everything. She was like, "Nah,
Oh
you're
wow.
going." And you're going and everything. And I think it was on the first three places. I got like second or third place.
Whoa.
And yeah, so it's a long story. After that, I stopped. I went to college. I thought I wanted to follow my family generational, steps of medicine. And after 2 years, I found out I didn't want to do it. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, so After a while, I grew tired. I moved to the States. I started working because, bills and everything. So art by that time was already like on a break, on a
Hmm.
total break. I was trying to do it every once in a while, but it wasn't anything, like constantly. Um, and, after that, I met my wife. We had a child. I joined the army because, bills
I didn't know
kept
that.
bills kept piling up and everything. And it was after the army, actually, like a year after I left the army, whatever. I decided to, give it a try, and I started doing. Not doing, but I saw about NFTs. It was like back in 2021.
Yep.
All the crypto and everything. I was like, well, I just got my tablet, and I just started digital by that time, and I was like, let's see, and I remember I did one. I posted it, and like I didn't know how to market it or anything in the NFT space. I was all by myself at that time,
Yeah, yeah.
so I left it. And months, like 5 or 6 months passed by, and then I kept seeing more about NFTs, and I was like, let me research more, because I mean,
Right.
there's got to be a way for me to market it, or any platform where I can just post it and see what happens. So I did a new piece for that one. I was like, let's go all in. Did some research, saw how you need to upload your art, how to post it, how to do everything. And I saw by that time Twitter was a platform that was booming with NFTs. Like everyone was, like
Mhm.
all over the NFTs.
It was a gold rush
Um,
back then. Yeah.
yeah, it was insane, and if had been going from months before I started doing it.
Mhm.
Uh, by the time I saw it, it was already booming. So, I did the piece. I uploaded on, I think it was OpenSea, which was the biggest also platform for NFTs and everything. So I was like, all right, let's go. And bro, I remember like it was, I uploaded, and I think it was early in the morning. It was like 5 or 6 in the morning. I received a notification on my phone, and it was like, ah, your NFT sold. And yeah, I had to, like, hold on, let me see. And I told my wife, hey, I don't know, I just received these. I think that's just a glitch, or a scam.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably
yeah,
it's
yeah.
because
You don't believe it.
you know how people get like emails, like scam emails and everything. So I was like,
I get a
can be
thousand a
real.
day.
Yeah, I was like, hold up, all right. I opened the email, and it was actually my first sale. Um, and from there I kept, like, I've had some good fucking, months. I would say, like, it was, I would just draw something, posted it up, um, put it on Twitter. Hey, within minutes or hours, it was like so. And I did that for, it was like almost 6 months straight, like
Yeah.
just creating nonstop. I would, like sit down, start a piece, one piece or two pieces. If by the night they were already done, I would just upload it right there and then, and by the next day, bam, they were gone. I
Sure.
remember
Bringing
it.
the money on the spot for an artist. That's up until that point, that was almost unheard of, right?
Yeah, it was crazy, and I couldn't believe it. It was my first time selling art like that. Like
Yeah, yeah,
before that, I did it like three paintings for one of my best friend's mother. I did two paintings for her, but other than that, I couldn't believe it, man. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
um, and one of the collectors, my first collector, he was like, "Hey, let's keep it going. Let me know when you have something new. I've been on these for quite a while, so I'll let you know how to, put it out there on Twitter, what you can do, because that they were very strict, like real
Yes,
collectors, they were very strict and they were very serious about it. And it was like, don't post like couple at the same time, like post
sure,
one,
sure.
just wait,
Control.
just yeah, control it, post one, or and build the momentum, keep that momentum going.
So that's good. So
Um,
let's get that's the commerce side of it. How, if you don't mind, let's swing it a little bit here. I want to know the
yeah,
work that you're
go for
making.
it, man.
Yeah, yeah, the work that you're making at that time, and compared to what you're doing now. A few things. What influences? What I mean, we already talked about your early influences, but that NFT, that original NFT stuff, and then where your work's going now. And I mean, I'm loving the analog stuff. I'm loving your painting, bro. Like that stuff is exquisite in its own right.
Thank you.
How do you how is your work evolving from where you kind of started with? I mean, even just connecting those dots there, from watching your brother, watching his journey kind of fade off, you picking up the torch, continuing it on. Like, how does your work evolve? I watch you and get inspired by your inspiration. I want to know how you develop that in your mind. Where do these things come from?
I don't know, man. Like, to be honest, that's something that recently I thought about it, because I didn't thought about it before. I was just creating art, like I don't know. Most artists will tell you I can't pinpoint what was, right, like.
You're right.
But for me, I was just creating art, But I remember, like when I was little, I remember my father took us to the movie theater to see Artificial Intelligence. I don't know if you know about that movie.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And I think that was, I had it like deep inside me, because as you see my work, as everyone has seen my work, it has a lot to do with droids, with
Yes,
humanoids,
yes.
technology, cyberpunk type. And I remember from very little watching that movie was like, it was a whole different world, something that I want my world to be
Mhm.
like that,
Yes, yes, yes.
like, humans.
Creating the world as you want to see it and as you see it. But it's funny you bring up that movie because I know specific scenes from that movie where I could almost think about the droids and kind of some of the jaw shape and some of
Yeah,
the way that they're mechanically built is very much you take or borrow some of those things for your models or your subjects. Yeah.
yeah, and watching also how they made, machines feel like they were humans, and interact with humans like they were other human beings. Like, I think that's that spark, inside of me, that made me create, from the very beginnings of the NFT. Because before that, I didn't do droids or whatever. But once I started with NFTs and all this technology and everything, I think it was, the spark got
So
like
the subject
the
of
flame.
technology at that time was almost a catalyst for kind of sparking that technological theme in your work, you might say.
Yeah, that's how it started. I
Okay.
that's how it started. Because before that, not that I remember, I didn't do anything about like droids or cyberpunk type. But I guess having that background with that movie, and interacting with the NFT space and how the world's actually going so far,
Yes.
I think that's what really ignited the whole, spark that was already there. And now, you've seen me. You were there from almost the start. I don't know. I think before the start. You
I got one of
know.
we traded NFTs right at the beginning there. Like
Yeah.
I still got one of yours in my wallet there from early
Yeah,
on, which
man.
was a little bit more of an abstract piece of a dude, but it's so beautiful. I love it. It's the best piece of
Thank
my
you.
wallet, by the way.
But yeah, like, once I started it, I kept going, and now it's like,
Yeah, you're
it,
on
it kind of,
Cowboy.
yeah, now it's, being here in Texas for, it seems, I got stationed right after graduating AIT from the Army. I was stationed here in Texas, so I've been here since 2017.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, and I think living here has, finally, like, I love creating cyberpunk western, type of pieces. I'm starting to create those, and I'm already loving it. Like, I can
Yeah, yeah.
see
Do you see
more of
your
it
work
in the
as kind of
future.
becoming a bit of a world on its own? Like, I mean, we're hearing stuff of the metaverse and kind of seeing some of these bigger NFT social spaces happening. Do you? I mean, I can picture, this is just me, but I can picture your subjects, like your drawings, walking around in NFT spaces, avatars, no problem, right? Or your work as posters, or murals on a
Yeah,
giant NFT buildings, or your subjects as the stickers for the new robots coming out to help you around the house. Like it's so on point right now. Do you see that sort of
hell
thing? Do you
yeah.
see your stuff kind of moving into that, like maybe 3D models and
I
stuff like that?
I'm not gonna lie, that's always been the dream, and I think it's if I'm creating that, I gotta think like that, like in a certain way, because whenever I'm creating those droids, I can imagine, like them being the main characters in this world, like
Cool.
being walking around people. It's not just for me. It's not just a piece of art, it's the world I created in me that I wanna, I wish I could live in.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's beautiful.
It's
I think that's some of the best. When I talk to artists and when I hear them talk about what drives them, you're right when you said it before. To hear where they get their inspiration from, usually they say God or something outside of myself comes into me. But then to hear their dreams and their aspirations, they always talk about an inner world, something that's in here,
yeah,
a fire or something that they got to get out. They got to put it out.
yeah. It's I think that's part of being an artist. Like, if it's not just creating what you see on the outside, on the outside world. Like, we as humans, we and as souls, we have our own world inside. Like, we dream about stuff. When we go to sleep, we dream about different stuff that is not in the actual plane that we live every day. So for me, it's like it's my way to imagine. I'm living in this cyberpunk world. Where everything it's not perfect. But it's in my own vision. It's perfect to me. Like, and it's that part, like I told you, seeing artificial intelligence movies, that part where you combine emotions with something that you will never you people never think about
Unimaginable
machines
stuff.
having emotions, like, yeah,
Yeah.
coexisting with humans. So it's yeah, I definitely see my when I create, I see, like, my work, everywhere, like in not
Oh,
just
yeah.
posters, but
Seeing your
like
work everywhere, you know what I do. I just go around and look at art all day. But so I'm on pages and pages and pages, and I can't tell you. I know I tagged you in a few, but I can't tell you how many people are influenced by your work. I think your stuff on NFT and I think your digital stuff got out there in a really, really big way because I saw your stuff first, and then I saw everybody kind of, not
Mhm.
everybody, but a lot of people coming up after and looking very, very similar to what you were doing, sir. Very, very
That's
similar. But I saw you as the progenitor. I think there was something very original about what you were doing. And the biggest compliment is or what do they say? Duplication or
yeah,
is
yeah,
the biggest
like,
form of flattery. So I think that's a
you
good
know,
thing that speaks well to the originality of your work. And look at this stuff. I mean, nobody's
mhm.
doing stuff like this.
Thank you. Yeah, and like, it's not like you said, my work might inspire others, but my work, I've been inspired by, other artists
Of course,
also
yes, yes, yes.
that also create, that type of cyberpunk.
It's a cycle. We're always
It's
watching
a
out for
cycle,
new.
yeah. As long, yeah, like, we need to inspire others, like, we gotta keep that flame going on others, there I know they'll get pissed if they see something similar to the work, but man, come on, that means you're doing something right. That means
Yeah, yeah.
people look up to you, people, feel inspired by your work. So why be as long as they're not copying the exact image,
Yeah.
let them get inspired by every work that you do. Like it's part of the art, like we've been inspired by past artists. Like why don't
Nobody's in
you
a
want?
bubble, right?
Yeah, so for me, yeah, it's very flattering and very, it motivates me to keep going. And with this cyber western series that I hope I can, keep going. I really don't have a plan to stop doing those. I mix styles from big artists and a lot of artists that are making western art that looks legit, like incredible with the cyberpunk type. So it's taking ideas from everywhere, and I hope I can continue, to inspire others with my work too.
I think
Cause
you have. I did. Hey, I'm the guy to say it. You have. So I got just a question about success. We talked a little bit about kind of what it takes to be exist in the space and get your stuff out there digitally, and what that feels like to finally get a win and get a sale. That's great. How do you know you've crossed the finish line or hit a goal? How do you define success in your space?
there's there's I didn't cross the line. It's a constant evolution for me. I think I'm not nowhere near where I want to be.
Okay, there is no
I
line.
Yeah, there for me, yeah. I mean, I'm good. I'm living the present. I know it's a constant evolution. It's not. I'm already I'm already there. There's nothing else I can do. For me, it's like there's always I can incorporate. There's always I can improve because
Mhm.
and it's also it like with NFTs, it was a boom in 2021, 2022, but it slowed down like
Yeah,
tremendously. Right now it's a very market with NFTs and whatever.
yeah.
So it was a huge impact because that was my first time, being successful and selling art,
Mhm.
and I didn't know how to manage, that type of success, and heightness and money coming in and everything. So it was very shocking, when everything slowed down. It's like they say, whenever you're at the top, don't think you're at the top because whenever things comes down, you're gonna hit the wall. And you're gonna hit the wall like very hard.
Yep,
And that's
yep.
exactly what happened to me. I didn't know how to deal with it. And I gotta be
A
honest,
quick
after.
success, and you're not alone there either. Yeah, I mean, I've again, like I've talked to so many folks that whether you're in comedy, whether you're an entertainer, whether you're an artist, that quick success, it's so difficult to manage the ego because
Yeah,
it feels like all your decisions are coming out gold, right? Everything that you're doing is turning out to be perfect, and it becomes so difficult. I find in those times to be self-critical and self-referential, or to look at yourself and say, what am I doing wrong?
yeah.
And because no matter what you're doing, it seems like it's all coming up gold. And then when the situation changes and you haven't taken time to adapt yourself or build, I'm speaking from my own personal experience. I had a very similar story to yours, but in a different sector. So I feel for you.
Yeah, man, it's like you said, it's something that a lot of people have gone through and everything, and it's hard, but I'm glad I went through it, because
Right.
it's a humbling experience. I think it's if you're creative in any type of art or industry, and you really want to be successful. I mean, there's no success without the losses. There's no success without the failures, so
Truth, man.
it's it builds character. It builds character. It sucks. It sucks big time because I was in depression for like a year. Like what am I gonna do now? Like I'm not selling anything. I'm making art. No one's buying. What am I doing wrong? It's not about what you're doing wrong. It's just market. It's just life.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with your person, with you or whatever. It's just that, life come and goes, market goes up and down. So, but it was humbling experience.
This
I
is a bit
learned
of
a
an
lot.
edgier question, and I haven't asked this to anybody else. Do you ever find yourself making artistic decisions based on things like the market or money or things that aren't coming from your heart. Do you ever let yourself slip? I know I put out a piece every once in a while and I'm like, oh, I just sold out on that one. But it stings me when I look in the mirror. Have you ever caught yourself doing that?
I'm not gonna lie. It would be like, especially in NFTs, like people would do art just to sell it. Like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not someone that likes to lie about it.
sure, sure,
I found myself a lot of times in especially in the NFT space, like creating art just because I want to sell it. Like
sure, sure.
I'm do and they might look good and everything. I'm still holding, my creative process, my creative, uh, style and everything. But I'm not gonna lie that a lot of those, and I think that's also what really hit my ego. Like you're creating art to make money. Now you're not making money. So are you really an artist or not? But I that's where I truly found that I'm gonna make art regardless. I've been making art for my whole life.
That's the
But
character you were talking about. That's where that comes from, maybe that moment, right? When you look back at the abyss and nothing looks back, and you go, "No, I'm still here."
yeah, like that's where you really know if you're really an artist or not. Like if you're doing it just for the money and you'll go with the money, just if I'm not making money, then I'll stop. Or if you really are an artist and you love the art and you love to create and you lead, then you're gonna stay regardless. So that was, I think that's another thing that I'm glad I went through.
Yeah, yeah,
To separate the market, the money side from the actual
yeah.
art. Because now I make art and I'm making art for myself.
I see
I'm not
that. I see that. Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Thank you for being so honest on that point. Like that's I really appreciate that answer. Thank you. I think a
I'm
lot
not
of people struggle with that exact same thing where they don't really know if they can come back when they do those things, and then you feel like some of your work's tainted. Maybe you feel like maybe you weren't in it, or maybe you didn't make money because that's what happened. But the heart of an artist, and I see this is another compliment to you. Sorry if I'm blowing smoke up your ass.
no, you're good.
You are one of the hardest working, most dedicated, and even showing your procedural stuff and showing as you're working on stuff. It's so fucking helpful to the other artists, the younger artists. I know because I promote it and on the Noisecast, and then they message me and they go, "That's awesome." I could. There's so much I haven't even shown you, but like all these different likes. Hey, that guy's awesome. How to so the 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 heart of the artist is what people finally feel and what your legacy is. I think you've done such a good job of kind of revealing yourself and revealing your work over the last year or so, where you've kind of blossomed to show it's the detail work that maybe doesn't make you famous, but it makes you fucking better.
Thank you, man, and I really appreciate that. Like, and it's something that still, till this day, I'm still learning. I hope I can continue making art, regardless, because that's something I like, to do, I like to create. And like I said, I like being honest. I'm gonna tell you the stuff like it is, and I want people, if they look up to me, to have both sides of the coin. Like there's no covering anything. At least on my side.
There's no
You
light
know.
without the dark.
Exactly. Like if I'm carrying a light, it's because I've been through the fucking darkest places. Like and if
Love
you
that.
if you if you see my light, I'm gonna let you know that I have the light on my hand because I've been through some fucking stuff that.
You've been to the bottom, so you can go to the top, man. I love that. I
Yeah.
speaking of, so I bugged a few artists that I know like your work. I told them I had an interview coming up with you, and they gave me some questions that they want me to ask you. So I've got a few more on my own, but these are some user questions from people who love your work on Instagram. And my wife snuck in one question on here. I'm not sure which one it is, but she put this list together for me. So,
Go.
Okay, so let's go with what's your favorite color to work with?
My favorite what? Sorry,
Your favorite color. What's your favorite color to work with if you have one?
color. I would say it's not my favorite colors. My favorite color is yellow, which is very odd. But I would say most of my work has to have certain type of purple, blue, and red.
Yeah.
Those are colors I even if I'm not I haven't planned about the colors, they always end up in some way in the art. You know, like you're gonna see blues, you're gonna see purples, and you're gonna see red for sure. Like
I love it.
it's
You
not.
cannot pull those colors from your soul. They will always be there.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Cause like I'm saying, you know, like I might not plan about those colors specifically, but they always end up there. We same with the yellow. If I see that I don't have any yellow at all in the piece, since it's my favorite color, I
Let me
always
see
try.
here. Oh, here you go. Here you go. I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you. I'm picking it up.
there always have to have like certain type of yellow, you know, in it, or the underbase, what we artists call the underbase. You know, instead of painting on top of a whole white canvas or whatever, I'll just put out some yellowish to
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
underground, so I
That's
can
great.
build up
So
from there.
that's good advice for the younger folks too. That's great. Okay, what's your favorite medium to use? I know you bounce around a little bit. You got all kinds of choices. What's your favorite?
My favorite right now at this moment, it's oil painting, baby.
What? Okay,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
yeah, it's
Maybe
oil
maybe
painting.
for the article, if you got some for some stuff there, maybe show us what you're working on the oil painting stuff, or send me over some and I'll put it up.
Got it. You want me to show you right now or just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you can move, yeah, yeah, yeah. Dope.
right?
That's
Can
an
you see?
oil, dude. I saw you
That's
working on it. I didn't know what you were using. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
that's oil painting right there. I'm sorry, it's just this is my room slash studio. That's some oil painting on
Yeah,
top of acrylics and
brilliant,
oil pastels.
brilliant.
Uh, right now I have this one I'm working on, which
Yes,
you've seen the one I made digitally. So now
gorgeous,
I'm doing
man.
it. And this one is mixed media. This is from early days in the NFT space where I created my own characters called the Basics. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
it's
one of the NFTs I got. That's great.
yeah. So yeah, those are a couple ones I have right now. You know, and like I said, right now I'm really into oil paintings. I started school a year ago, and right now I'm taking oil painting classes. And people a lot I've heard, a lot of artists and people, they they don't get along with oils, but for me it's so easy and so nice because it gives time to work with it. It doesn't
Yes,
dry as
yes.
fast with acrylic. I guess a lot of people like for their stuff to dry fast so they can keep creating layers. For me, it's a process.
You're coming back to it every few days. You're when you come to a new place in your head, you can go back to it and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, but I mean, Diro, I love Diro because I mean it's more it's convenient. You grab your tablet, the layers, you can delete layers, you can add pictures, you can
This is
do.
a personal question because I get addicted to the digital and I have to force myself to go paint. Do you have that same thing?
Huh?
Like the digital is so addictive. The digital is so quick and easy and convenient that I find myself being drawn to it way too much, and I have to force myself over to go paint. Do you have that same thing or no?
Yeah, that's why right now I'm focusing more on physical paintings because I found myself um I need to do something
Yes.
physical.
My
and
wife
and
gets
in
me off the phone all the time. She says, "Stop making noise. Go paint."
Yeah, like, but I'm not gonna lie, and I don't blame you, man, because you grab the tablet, you take it wherever you go, and you can start drawing. It's not like canvas or a sketchbook that you gotta carry. The sketchbook, you gotta carry pencils, you gotta carry, like, and you can create art with whatever, but still, you need like more materials on you to create instead of uh the tablet. The tablet, you take it, you start right there, bam, you
It's
open
your
whatever.
brain. right there. Like, boom, it's my favorite thing. Like, that's the only reason
Yeah,
we can do what we do some days is because it's
but
convenient.
yeah, but I'm glad that that not that I started digital because I before growing up I basically was pen and paper, but most of my art developed through digital. I gotta be honest, that's
Sure.
when
You
I
think that's just the
decided.
repetition, or do you think that's access to the tools and the imagination that kind of comes out of that? What drove the development so much in the digital relative to the analog?
I think it was a tool, the accessibility of the tablet, being able to create right there on the spot and easier instead of erasing or messing up a painting, and now you're thinking, what am I gonna do with the tablet? It's like you erase it or you delete the whole layer, and you build on top of it.
You take away the
Uh,
fear.
yeah, but I'm glad I started my full time career as an artist digitally
Mm.
because it made once I started doing physical stuff, I already had like how am I gonna do this
Okay.
piece, and what type of shadows am I gonna create or whatever. So it still, I'm glad of that transition from digital to physical instead of physical to digital, because bro, I'm telling you, like everything I learned digital, I wasn't so scared when I started making physicals. I was scared,
That's fair.
obviously. There's always certain type of fear, but I was more at ease, on creating physical
So
after
I think
doing
that's
so
a
much.
great tip for the young, again, the young artists out there. If you guys are watching this, hopefully somebody's watching it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, that an artist like man, you got these great skills, but they don't come by accident, and they don't come through AI, and they don't come through just tapping your pen on the page. You actually have to get to work, and you got to do some fucking art, right?
Yeah, yeah, like I said, and right now it's a blessing getting to work with both, because what I'm doing to speed the process. Also, this is another, probably help to other artists. Like if they have both medias within reach, and they want to start something and they're thinking, how am I going to, hey, make the sketch on the tablet. Make the sketch
Mm-hmm.
on the tablet. Like put everything, just make that piece that you want to make physical, just do it exactly how you want it physical on the tablet first. That way you already have a sense of what you got to do once you put it in a canvas, and
Like a
it
perfect
helps a
sketch
lot.
almost. You're making a sketch, but you're making the best sketch you can.
Yeah, like I said, that one that I showed you that I'm working with the cowboy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's I created it completely on the tablet. Now I just
Oh,
gotta recreate what I put on the tablet on the canvas, because it's easier instead of figuring out step by step on the
yeah,
canvas.
yeah. What a workflow. That's awesome. You can, and that's got to speed things up, but also give you a little bit more time to spend on the details. The you get more
Yeah,
freedom. You enjoy the work maybe.
yeah, yeah, and exactly. I have the best you know medias at my disposal, and I can work, vice versa at the
It's
same
like
time.
the technology now is incredible. Like you go back 20, 30 years, the stuff they have on our phones would be a $20,000 editing suite, or a $50,000 editing suite now. So I mean, yeah, that's
Y-
incredible. Let's move on. Let's
y-
move on here. Let's get to. I got a few more here. I know they need our answered. So if you could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one, because
I know.
there's there's a lot of artists that I'm inspired by. I look up
A
to.
gun to your head, and I tied you up in a basement. I got a gun to your head, and I got an artist outside. I can pull him in right now, and I can let you guys paint one piece or do one piece. You get one shot. That's it. Who do you pick?
Who, boy.
I know.
uh Man, I would have to say it will have to be from the past, from my favorite, past painters, artists. I would say my favorite one, Vincent Van Gogh,
Okay, okay.
and from the new, new era, new generation, I would say, um, since lately I've been doing a lot of Western cyberpunk type. His name is Mark Marjorie. I'm sorry if I butcher his name. He
Mhm.
makes Western style
I know
paintings.
exactly who you're talking about Mark Majori. No, you're right, and we'll tag him in the bottom of this interview so he gets props. But yeah, I can totally see you. I can see both you and Van Gogh working together, and him. I think, yeah, man, that'd be dope. I'll see if I can set that up with the one of them anyway. The other one would be a little bit harder, I think.
Yeah, that one would take time though.
Yeah, yeah, maybe that's go dig up Vincent Van Gogh. Okay. Uh, let's see what. Where Oh, we talked about this a little bit earlier. This is my question. When you hit a creative block, when you hit something where you just can't make art, and you're there, I've seen you pull yourself out of this stuff. How do you do it? What's your thing?
I don't force it.
Okay, okay.
I learn how to take a step back, take a break, not dwell too much on it,
Hmm.
not and if I have to take a day, I've learned that not every day we have to be creating. Like that's something
Oh,
that
really?
al
Holy shit!
that that also on the NFT space, I felt like I had every single day, like
Yes.
every single day, I had to be creating something. And that's one of the main reasons I got into depression when the market came down and I didn't make sales. It was because like damn, I've been burning myself. Nah, not anymore. We need to take time. You need to take time to
Mhm.
either it's rest, lay down or go outside or do whatever. Um, the best way, like my personal way to come out of those art blocks is like that. Like just instead of trying to figure out like what should I do about it, I don't
Don't.
force it. I don't force it. I because I'm gonna get even more frustrated about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just
Okay. So, what advice? We've already given a bunch of advice to the young artists here. Hopefully, some of you guys are watching. What advice specifically would you give to people maybe coming up and who like your work and maybe respect your work and if somebody was going to earn your respect, what path should they take to become an artist? What's working these days? What isn't working? What should they do?
just another thing that might sound cliche. Just do whatever you like to do. Like
Straight up.
doesn't matter what you see outside. That's another thing that I learned in this process. Um, don't get inspired by other artists, but don't try to be like them. You
Right.
know, get inspiration from them, but on your own way, and keep being yourself. Just take ideas, take whatever, but still at the end of the day you got to be your own self, and that's what people like about artists, especially artists that are already at certain level, is that it doesn't matter, they still creating what they like, what they love, regardless. It doesn't matter. Also, just another thing, don't compare yourself to someone who's already on top,
Mm,
someone who's already selling
great
millions or
advice.
whatever.
Great
That's
advice.
I'm still at that point. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not on my finish line, and I don't think I'll ever be. For me, the art, it's gonna keep. I'm gonna keep finding stuff to improve or change or try. But yeah, once you separate that thought about comparing yourself to other artists, I think that's when everything actually starts falling into place, and that's where you actually feel more confident about your work. Uh,
And maybe make braver choices because of the confidence.
yeah, and like I said, like you might see someone who's already at the top, but bro, probably they have to been through fucking hell to get
Right?
up
They've
there,
got
you
some
know.
Bruce Wayne origin story where their parents died when they
Yeah,
were young and they've been making it since
y-
that day. You know, like you don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. You don't like you don't know the backstory of that person. Maybe they there was a point where they were homeless or whatever, and now you
Right.
know they now they're there, but in the beginnings they were down on the low. So yeah, it's easy nowadays with all the social media to see, you know, just a small part of this, you know, just the success of people instead of actually seeing the background story.
Yeah, man. Yeah, okay, so I know we talked about goals a little. Well, we didn't really talk about goals, but do you have any when it comes to your art coming up in the next little bit? What projects have you got coming up over the next little bit? I know you're
Right.
working on your Western series, and I see you're working with oils. That's amazing. Do you set yourself goalposts in the future? Do you say I want to sell this many paintings? Do you say I want to get this style really figured out, or I want to create a world? How do you, again, this kind of idea of goalposts, and maybe that's more me than you, but how do you, what have you got coming up in the future, and what can we expect to see from you?
Nah, yeah, definitely I got goals, you know. I might not have a certain number on it, like, oh,
Hmm.
I want to sell a certain amount of paintings or I want to make certain amount of money. I do have goals, you know. I that's why I'm doing paintings right now because rather than seeing my art in screens, I
Mm.
want to see my art in galleries. I want to see
Oh
my
yeah,
art,
yeah, yeah. Me too,
you
man.
know. Yeah, like I want to see. I want people to see my cyberpunk art in
Yes,
physical, which I don't think. To be honest, I don't think, and I haven't seen much physical work made with oil paintings
yes.
that carry that futuristic style with, you know, with oils, which
You're doing
has
like a
been.
future Renaissance kind of thing. Like if you can kind of bridge that gap between the ancient and the antiquity and the future and the imagery there, I think you know what I think. I think it's fucking beautiful. I
Yeah,
think you're right on track.
like the one you have back there.
Yes,
I
yes.
would have loved to make that on an actual painting, you know,
Oh,
instead of like
oh,
that would have.
please do. Please do. Nobody's stopping you.
I hope I can one day make something like that, like that has that vibe that you said, Renaissance slash cyberpunk, you know, with today's
Oh yeah. Oh, I see you.
technology.
Man, I already see I see what you're doing, and you're already on that path. Like you're gonna get there because in my mind, I see you fleshing out this world that's got these different kind of character archetypes, and they they might not know each other, but they all came from the same creator. They all came from the same fucking factory, and the factory is you, which is you get this beautiful manufactory that's pumping out these different droids all the time, and you don't know if they're going to be in the West world. You don't know if they're going to be like romantic and lovely or angels on a mountaintop. You get this. So I see
Yeah.
it as this beautiful place where I want to go hang out for a bit. I just want to like go hang out with your characters and go have a chat with them and figure out, why they're there, what their usefulness is, the purpose of these folks and these characters. I think you've done such a good. I'm a movie guy too, so I think you've done such a good job of creating character within your subjects, and that is very, very challenging. I think a lot of people look at subjects, whether they're real life subjects or whether they're imagined, and they view them only as a image. You, however, sir, I believe when you talk about these things coming from inside you and this world, I see you taking like almost like an individual character based approach to your subjects, almost like an actor would, right, or a director talking to an actor and kind of trying to bring out a motivation. What is this character, trying to convey to the audience at least? What do you want people to think or feel when they see your stuff?
uh, I you know, I want them to see, I don't know, like something that they've never felt or seen before, you know, like something that it might feel like out of this world, but at the same time, something that they can feel they are part of, like I do when I create them, you know, because when,
Mm,
like you said, when I my creations, whenever I'm creating any of my droids, I put myself in that environment. like as I'm going through the painting, through the piece or whatever, I don't think about anything else rather than the environment that I'm creating at that moment in that piece. Like for example, that angel on the back, like I was imagining myself, that angel is holding a soldier in her hands, like in the middle of the battlefield, like and, and they're lovers. You can tell they're lovers because
Yeah.
he's crying because he's dying. Like I want people to feel that same way that they are actually in that moment.
You gave me goosebumps, buddy. So mission accomplished. Also, I'll say to that, you give my wife goosebumps with this piece too. You got so the feeling of lovers, of tragedy. This is what I think resonates with your work so much. Is it's a contemporary art. Your stuff will
Yeah.
be beautiful 2,000 years from now. Your stuff will be beautiful. And I don't know if you can say that about every NFT. I don't know if you can say that about every digital piece of art. I don't know if you can really say that those works are contemporary. I believe you are one of the only truly contemporary digital artists I've seen that's doing work that's constantly evolving. So please don't stop. Tell me what you got products. I know you got a whole bunch of stuff in the Superhuman Club. I see your hat there. Tell me what other things people can get from you if they want to help you out and purchase some Manu
Well,
product.
right now, my goal is to build the brand also. Besides, improving my art. Right now, I'm working on this hat, probably dropping soon.
Yeah,
Yeah, and just trying to create a clothing brand. Eventually, that's one of my goals. Since you asked for it, I didn't want to left that one behind since it's one of my main goals, along
yes.
with the art stuff. But yeah, just stay on the loop, and I'll drop some dates
Perfect.
about drops and new designs.
Perfect. Well, I'm sure everybody's looking forward to it. I know those little the little keychain things there, the little crystal keychain thing you got or whatever. Those are the most boss ass things. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna
right
go.
here.
How do I order one of those if I want one?
I'm right now. I have the page down. I have the website because I'm working on new products and everything. So working on it. But once I have them available again,
You let me know. I'm
I'll.
gonna promote them. You'll sell a whole bunch and oh, who's that? Who's that?
Oh,
This is
that's
the best.
that's
You got
one
you
of
got
the
a photo
babies.
bomber.
Yeah, that's
Hello.
one of my babies. Say
Hi.
hi.
I'm the noise. Nice to meet you. Your dad
Yeah,
is a
she's.
super good artist. I don't know if you know this, but he's like the best artist in the whole wide world. I'm a huge fan of him.
Say thank you. Yeah.
Okay, buddy, I'm gonna let you go. This was like my favorite interview I've done so far. Like I
Hey,
love you. So thank you so
I.
much. We got to do this again, though. We got to do this again.
Hey, brother, yeah, we have to do it again. I really enjoyed talking to you. What do you say? Apart from just texting, like this was cool as fuck. I hope we can
Oh
do
man,
this more often.
cool. Oh yeah, no,
So
me too. I'd love to. I'd love to. You're an absolute treat. Okay,
yeah,
wish
not
your
not
wife and
just
kids the best. Tell them to support your ass no matter what you do because you're a legend. I love you.
thank you. I love you too, brothers.
Hey, bye.
I'll see you around. Bye bye.
Bye bye.